Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stanley Bear Thunderheart, aka Bear, and this is a commentary in regards to what has happened recently with Jason Mayhem Miller, as he was arrested in Orange County, California, for breaking into a church supposedly. Now, obviously, his downward spiral started to happen, when he was cut from the UFC. After he was cut from the UFC, about not too long ago, on Saturday, he had some altercation with Dana White, as far as verbal altercation, that is. And in that regards, Dana White thought that he was joking around because, Jason Miller tends to act like a clown too at times, as well as, being a serious MMA fighter. But he also acts like a clown. He kind of reminds me of the Joker of MMA sometimes, except tougher, in my opinion. But enough of the Batman character. Let's get on with this. I don't have too much time. I'm just going to just briefly say what I really need to say. And as far as Jason is concerned, yes, he's always been a little bit out there and has flipped his wig and everything like that. But then again, if you really think about it, I don't really find that surprising. And I'm going to tell you why. There are times, in life, when we get into a certain level of fame and fortune and everything, people tend to take things to certain levels, whether it's stupidity or goodness or anything like that. In other words, one of the key things I want to tell you guys is that people think that money changes people. I beg to differ. It doesn't change people. It actually enhances what they already are. So if Jason Miller was, first of all, was unstable to begin with, all that fame, money, and fortune, all that stuff is going to actually make him even more unstable unless he worked on himself or worked on ways of not, how do I say this? Try to work with others rather than try to work against others. In other words, rather than always fighting with people and so forth, he needs to work with others and work with the community. But I guess he hasn't done that. He's just been doing his own thing, beating his own drum, which is fine. I kind of do the same thing. It's just that you must have a little bit more of a discipline too, in that fact. And also the fact that I remember I was told years ago that when you carry a certain name or you carry a certain, whether it's whether it's your birth name or a name that you earn or even an alias name. Now, of course, Jason Miller is his legal name, right? But the alias, Mayhem, think about it like this. If you're going to carry a name like Mayhem, after a while, it's going to take its vibration. It's going to take a life of its own. It's going to even create a persona, so to speak, inside a person. Well, now, and the fact that he may have been unstable already before he had that name, whether he does it or not, I don't really know. But I do know this. Sometimes when you carry certain names, it carries a certain vibration. It carries a certain type of pattern or behavior. And adding the name Mayhem into it, yes, I know maybe an alias name, it may sound cute, it may sound like something you see in pro wrestling or an act in Hollywood and so forth, but after a while it does carry real life implications. It carries a certain vibration that can carry on its own, and that's why Mayhem, what do you think he was going to do? You think he was going to just go to church and donate money or whatever the thing? If he actually did break in, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt that he may not. But if he did break in and then had some instability and so forth, which I'm not surprised, what do you think? I just think that people need to really start looking at the names and aliases, or even the fighters, before they even enter in, what kind of aliases they carry. Because if you carry a certain aliases, then you have to be willing to live and die by the aliases that you carry. You understand? You have to be able to deal with the rewards of it, but you also got to watch out for the consequences of it too. And that's the bottom line. And so having a name like Mayhem as an alias name, I know this sounds a little bit different and out there, but you got to take what I'm telling you into consideration, because, like I said, when you carry certain names, you carry a vibration. And when you carry a vibration, you attract whatever vibration that you working with at that particular moment in time. See, and that's how it goes. So I'm going a little deeper with this because I really feel this is important. And after hearing Kimber White online, and it just, boom, everything started clicking, and that's why I'm doing this video in response to that. So as far as Jason Mayhem Miller is concerned, like I said, he's always been a clown, joker, and things like that. But Mayhem, it takes a whole different meaning. Especially now that he's been arrested, everybody's all surprised, like, oh no, what's going on, and blah blah blah. But come on, it's not that really not that hard to really realize that that was going on to begin with. And I'm sure Dana White knew the insides of it all, probably knew better than everyone. Maybe all the other fighters in the locker rooms of Strikeforce or UFC or any other organization for that matter knew there was some real demons and problems that he really had. Or maybe he's got a different persona that switches on and off, like a Smith personality disorder or something like that. I don't know. I'm not totally sure because I didn't really examine it too clearly. But one thing is for sure, though, he may have to change that name from Mayhem to something else, unless he really wants to live with the consequences and the rewards for the vibration that he carries. I mean, just recently, Tito Ortiz, even though now he's retired, Tito Ortiz, when he was still fighting, he changed. He no longer carried the name Huntington Beach Bad Boy. And now, whether he realized it himself or not, that Huntington Beach Bad Boy did carry a bad image for him because not to mention he did act it like he was, because he was that way to begin with. But having that name as an alias actually even increased it even further for his personality, his actions, his ego, and everything else just increased like tenfold, I suppose. But but after he stopped calling himself that, that's when things got a little easier for him, especially the fact that and I'm not trying to bring his personal life into it, but when he had that name, Huntington Beach Bad Boy, for a long time, sure, he had fame and fortune and everything, but he also had other problems, personal life with his ex-girlfriend Janet Jameson and various other things like that. But now I'm sure he's doing pretty better for himself, and now he's retired. But at the same time, he had bad back surgeries and surgeries on his back due to his bad back, and various other things like that. So you cannot necessarily. You have to really be aware of what aliases or a name that you carry when you decide to either have a name or when you accept someone else giving you a name. You need to know exactly what name you're getting. Like my name, Sandy Bear Thunderheart, it was given to me. It was a special name that was given to me by a shamanist when I was going through my trials and terminations, and when I shifted my name to this and Bear. And so Bear is, of course, my nickname, but I also know what Bear means in that retrospect. I know what it means in native culture, in the natives' one way of looking at things, in the spiritual way of things. I know what my name means, basically. I'm not exactly going to tell you exactly the full story of it right now, but that's just an example of what I'm getting at here. See, I'm well aware of what my name means. So, in that way, I can know what consequences and rewards that I'm dealing with when I work with this name. And took me years to even learn more of it and did my research of other people who had the same name or different names that I did beforehand. That's another story for another day. But I'm just saying, guys, just be aware that, when you have certain names that you carry, you have to be able to be aware what vibration you're carrying. Okay? And not only what vibration you're carrying, but what vibration that you carry within you even begin with before you even get that name. Is it making you better? Is it enhancing you? Or is it making you worse than you are? Or is it enhancing one part of you but not enhancing the other? Or making it worse than the other half? So you just have to really re-examine, the vibration of the name. I mean, names are important. I mean, people just think, oh, you just give them a name and that's it, and boom, 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 boom. No, it doesn't work that way. Names have power, people, just like thoughts, just like words, just like actions, lifestyle, everything has energy. And you need to be aware of that, guys. And so as far as Jason Mayhem Miller, I hope one of these days he hears this and takes it to the account. But if he doesn't, he'll have to figure it out on his own. But meanwhile, guys, we'll see what happens with him. Meanwhile, life goes on. And hopefully, if he really digs within himself, he'll find a way to get himself some kind of help in some ways with a professional person that actually is not necessarily have his bias or prejudices or anything like that, and hope he moves on well. And maybe if he takes out that name Mayhem and replaces it with something else, maybe something else in life will get better too, just like what happened with Tito Ortiz. Anyways, I'm done. I'm standing at Thunderheart, aka Bear. Go to my postfightrecap.com for more videos of mine of the MMA commentaries and post-fight recaps of different events. So anyways, take care everybody, and I will be talking to you guys later. Healing, it is all that is.